Hey, it's Mr. Bass. I've got my Monsterbass and my lucky Panfish boxes. Bluegill, crappie, trout. But you guys know the reason I like this one, it's got bass lures too. Multi-species. Let's break these open and share them, show you what's in them. One caveat here is maybe I should talk about the pricing. The pricing on this is around 35 bucks. The pricing on this one's around 18, I believe. So not the same price by any means, which may explain why there's so much more in this one than there is in this one. But just take a look at the lures and see what you think, how they compare. All right, let's start with paperwork, stickers, that kind of stuff. And then we'll get into the product, the actual lures. All right, I can even show you the box. Here's the box. The lucky box is just a plain box. Of course, the Monsterbass guys, they're still doing this kind of a box where it's got stuff printed on it, learn from the pros. You can open it up and you've got a little measuring device and you've got stuff here talking about spring, summer, fall, and winter. Tips for catching a monster bass or a monster crappie or a monster bluegill. So that's kind of cool. Then the paperwork. Lucky has a flyer, early spring fishing. That looks good. And then they give you a little card that says, go check out our Lucky YouTube channel. And then they ask you to show off your personal best. Okay, that's that. Monsterbass has a what's inside box. One thing I like about them is they show off local guys. This here is Robbie AM with a couple of big crappies. And then they also have a sticker. No sticker in the Lucky box that I have seen. Let's go with the Lucky box first. First off, they've got a mix of crappie jigs. Some black, some chartreuse, a lead colored one, and a white colored one. They look like they're all 1/8 of an ounce. Yep. Then they've got some tiny size 14 fine wire round bend trout hooks. That's interesting. Oh, they've got a koozie in here. Want to get lucky. And then they have a little interesting little micro jig. Look at that little guy. That thing is tiny. See if I can get it to focus in on it. Will it focus? There it goes. I think. It's in a little plastic tube. How about that? And then they've got some little Crave Baits grubs. This looks like an old package. It is really dirty and beat up. I don't know what's going on with that. And then every month it seems like they have something from this Bait Rigs tackle company. They must have a good deal with these guys, or maybe they even own them. I don't know. But here you've got, this is a bait that you see a lot in these boxes. This is the first time I've seen a pink color. Usually it's chartreuse or an orange. Very tiny little grub-like creature. I don't even know what they call these things, but I'm sure, hey, trout, panfish, the bluegill would definitely, you know, they'll eat something tiny like that. Tiny's not a bad thing when you're talking about panfish. Okay, and then just a regular old tube from the same company, Bait Rigs. It's a pink and white tube. So that's it. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 what I would call baits, although this is like a single little bait. 2 packs of hooks, a koozie, and your paperwork. That's what you get for 18 bucks. Then on the Monsterbass side, I'll kind of do the same thing. First, I'll show you the terminal tackle. Then I will show you panfish or crappie baits, and then I'll show you bass baits. Oh, they threw another sticker in here as well on the bottom that I didn't see. Another Alex Rudd sticker. Ruddweiser. Alright, so terminal tackle. They've got a 2/0 offset worm hook, must add. Looks like a 3-pack, yeah. And then a pack of Big Bite Baits contender jig, an 1/8 ounce. This is bloodshot white. So interesting, both boxes this month gave us an 1/8 ounce jig. That's it for the terminal tackle. They also threw in some fluorocarbon line, 110 yards of 12-pound test fluorocarbon line, K9 fluoro. That's a little different. They don't usually put line in the box. And then one complaint I got from one guy is he felt like he wanted more crappie baits or more panfish baits and less bass baits. The reason I like the multi-species is because it does have bass baits as well. So if you could only afford one box, the multi-species makes a lot of sense because it's going to cover all of your species that you're probably fishing for. In fact, these bigger bass baits you could even use for pike and a few of the other species, walleye, that kind of thing. But let me show you the panfish lures. Alright, they got another Big Bite Baits in here. This is called the Kamikaze Swimmin'. And this is 2.5 inch pink and chartreuse tail. Alright. Then we've got 2 crankbaits this month. We've got a Lucky Strike Crappie Magic crankbait. Dives 2 to 4 feet. Unfortunately, the label almost totally blocks the lure so you can't see, but it looks like black back, shad pattern with an orange chin. And then they've got another tiny crankbait in here, the Bitsy Minnow by Strike King. It's an 1/8 ounce square bill. Fire Tiger. I could have used this yesterday when I was fishing this super dark, muddy water. Alright. That in and of itself is all the panfish lures. You've got basically a pack of soft plastics, 2 crankbaits, and then you got the jig heads that, of course, you could pair with the soft plastics. So then they've got 3 other bass lures. Basically, you've got these Smart Baits finesse worms, and Smart Baits is a color-changing worm. This kind of gives you an example of how the colors change. Not bad there. Then they put a big old Lunker Hunt /12S jumbo jerkbait. The Impact Slash dives up to 12 feet, so this is not a small jerkbait. And I mean, this just kind of shows you multi-species. You're not going to catch a panfish with this thing. And then they got a topwater in here, the Monsterbass Patriot 2.0, which is a pretty nice topwater plug. Kind of, it's a spook knockoff, basically. 3 7/8 of an inch, weighs a ½ ounce. And this is an interesting color. Do they say what color it is? Nope, they don't say the color. This is kind of a purplish bluish with a darker back. So that's kind of it for the Monsterbass multi-species. You got the spook, big jerkbait, the finesse worm, those are your bass lures. You got 2 crappie crankbaits, your jigs, your kamikaze swimmers, your hooks, your fluorocarbon, and then of course the paperwork and the stickers. You got a lot of stuff in this Monsterbass box, and that's kind of what you have to weigh, you know, when you're trying to shop around for these kind of things. If you only want panfish lures, maybe there's a better option like the Lucky, or there might be another option out there. I don't know if Mystery does a panfish box or not. Monsterbass is giving you the whole gamut. That does it. That's this month's boxes. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. If so, please subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Share the video. We greatly appreciate the support. Until next time, this is Mr. Bass. Happy fishing!